group that I was co-chairing with Sarah was the regional monitoring coordination and integration subject. We spent a lot of time discussing the different ways that the various regions who have already started doing some monitoring work do that, and trying to capture people's thoughts and thoughts down. I wrote down several models that each of us have been using. The first one is to really follow what comes through on the New Zealand biosecurity strategy, our biodiversity strategy, with those regions that have those coordinated biodiversity fora that have got the local governments all working together. And to start somewhere, and the example given is starting with white bird counts and then just letting the project blossom from there. The next one is to be a little bit more formal about what those strategy objectives were, and then tailoring those things into your policies and your monitoring, and then your tools for monitoring being pulled out of those. It's effectively the policy effectiveness model. And then the third model was something a little more biosecurity driven, or we started with ARC as a driver because ARC had come up with quite a large model for regional monitoring that those that haven't started at Light Horizons might follow. But as we were discussing that particular style of things, which is really to drag in the tools from elsewhere and drag in information from elsewhere, push it all together and you can see what pops out as an overall cohesive monitoring strategy. We were also talking about the monitoring strategies of Greater Wellington, which can be biosecurity or parks driven. So they're about smaller, not so much regional questions, smaller questions to answer, but it involves measuring biodiversity outcomes that could potentially answer bigger regional questions. And we went to City Council's bird monitoring, which is to monitor the effectiveness, or monitor how well we're looking after the parks. But that data itself lends itself to scaling up to a regional scale once you've got the various TLAs within one region cooperating on the data. But that begged the question then on who's doing what, where, what protocols they're using, and where they're storing the data. Because a lot of us felt that there are other people here that represent today who are doing a lot of monitoring, and yet we still haven't quite captured those ideas. And then there was a definition of who that who might be. It's not just regional councils and it's not just TLAs, but there's also DOC's own data collection that's going on, feeds up into a regional program, up to the national level. There's community groups, and there's also, of course, the monitoring that members will do for monitoring their own areas, which might feed into a regional district. Say an SNA monitoring effectiveness might grab the data off the prerequisites, causing that SNA to resume. But anyway, that got me remembering that we've asked this question before, it's for probably more than once. And so it was a matter of going back through Dataversity and going back through some of the other stuff that's published on the web to find out who's already said what tools. And I originally put it up for Dan for delivery for next week. I thought that might have been a bit unfair, and given that I've also got a sneaky suspicion there's other stuff in the pipeline that biosecurity managers are driving at the moment, which is biosecurity outcomes, that I might know in my head, but I don't think it's been documented yet. So I put myself down for taking responsibility for it, but I've extended that out to July. Nice. So that's our action that's going to come from this. I'll probably start it by putting up a discussion on the Dataversity anyway, so that each of the people that are involved can then start sharing stories on what they're monitoring, what they're monitoring for, and then collate that in July and then as some sort of report. Sounds good.
When we got into the modelling, or which model to choose, we realised that there was a top-down or a ground-up model, and we found that because of the fact that a lot of people have already got their projects in place, they're not going to go for a top-down approach. So working with bottom-up can actually work for us. We got together, figured out exactly how we could all fit together rather than okay, we want to report regionally, nationally, so okay, what questions are we answering, and going from that level down. Okay, we're doing this for this, how can we pull it all together and still, because that way we can still retain and answer the questions that we specifically need answered, that it can all feed up into something that's bigger in the end.